Yo, how's it going? We got some parallel universes by the White Files. Let's go ahead and see.
Episode of the Y Files is brought to you by Huel. So you gotta tell me, how do you like being a movie star? I can't even imagine your life. You can't walk down the street without being mobbed by adoring fans, and you attend those power lunches with your agent. You pose for pictures on the red carpet on your way to collect your third Academy Award. I mean, your life sounds fun. Wait, what?
Hmm.
You're not a movie star? That's not your life? Well, maybe not in this universe, but there is a universe out there where your life is exactly as I described. The many worlds or multiple universes theory
Here we
says that
go. Here we
anything
go.
that can possibly happen does happen. It just happens in a different reality that exists parallel to our own. There's a reality out there somewhere where you're a best-selling author. There's one where you're a
Yeah,
Nobel Prize-winning scientist
imagine,
who cured cancer.
bro. What kind of book would I write if I was a best-selling author? Like, what kind of book would that be? The Thousand Ways to Fail? Like, come on. Like I don't know. That would be a wild ass book. But anyway, something I always thought of actually. I don't know. It always comes to my head, right? Like, what if we have? What if like so it's the thing with near death experiences, like what if we have near death experiences and we actually do die and our like spirit or energy just transfers into the next parallel universe? That's like a theory I always had. Like, what if every near death experience, like some people see they see a light and stuff, what if it's just us transferring into the other uh our other selves? And like, I don't know, like kind of like the movie The One by with Jet Li. You know how like every time he kills one of his clones, he gets more powerful. But what if our spirit, we like kind of like join consciousness with the next parallel universe self? That's a theory that I always had. Just because it's like interesting how every time you get a close near death experience, we have like this out of body experience, or we have this like whole entire thing going on. So it's a little thought there that I always had. But yeah, let's continue on.
There's even a reality out there where you're an evil dictator plotting to take over the world, and you enforce your will with an army of AI robots that you invented when you were a grad student at Stanford.
Freaking
Now, yes,
sick.
some of these alternate realities are more far fetched than others, but they are all out there.
There's no universe where I'll be a dictator just because it just suck. I ain't gonna lie. Like I can't imagine a me where he's smart enough to be a dictator or some sort of uh like leader of a massive group. I can never imagine that because that'd be wild. That'd just be wild.
Scientists know how these realities are formed, and people are working on technology to detect them. But even if we could detect
Really?
alternate universes, there's no way to visit them. Or is there?
Oh. What if there's a universe that already knows how to detect us and is hiding us or themselves from
Hey,
us?
fair lord digging for you, sidekick. Come back.
Of multiple universes is not a new one. As early as the 6th century BC, the theory was explored by Greek philosophers known as atomists. They believed that the reality that we live in was created from the collision of atoms, the fundamental building blocks of nature. Atomist
Greek?
philosopher Epicurus speculated that an infinite number of worlds existed, governed by the same natural laws as Earth. Even before him, Indian cosmology hinted at an eternal cycle of universes, each one created and destroyed over and over again in a great cosmic cycle.
Yo, that's crazy that they were
And
thinking of
fast
this
forward to the
way
Renaissance,
back
a period of
hundreds of years
artistic and
ago.
scientific rebirth. Giordano Bruno, a maverick philosopher, postulated that the universe was infinite, containing countless stars and planets. Now, unfortunately for Bruno, the church didn't like this idea and had him burned at the stake. But
Wow.
his and these other theories may turn out to be true. Parallel universes could exist in a few different ways. One theory is that these other universes do exist, but they're separated by vast distances. Our
Okay.
observable universe is about 93 billion light years across. So if you travel at the speed of light, it would take you 93 billion years to go from one side to the other.
Damn.
That distance is almost incomprehensible.
Yeah.
But that's just the universe we can see. What's beyond that? Well, nobody really knows. It's possible that the entire universe is infinite. And if that's true, then there could be infinite other observable universes like our own that exist way, way out there. And if that's true, then mathematically speaking, there must be universes exactly like or almost exactly like our own. It's like that famous thought experiment. If you give a monkey a typewriter and enough time, eventually he would type out the complete works of Shakespeare, purely by chance.
What?
Of course, the odds of this are almost zero,
Yeah.
but almost zero isn't zero.
Well, a monkey
That's
could
true.
write better stuff than half the movies Hollywood spits out every year.
Right, especially with the
He's
writers
not
on
wrong.
strike.
He's
The
not
writers
wrong.
are on strike?
Yeah, they have been for months.
I didn't notice.
Ooh, that's a shot.
So if the universe is infinite, then somewhere out there there's a solar system with a sun like ours, and an exact copy of Earth, and an exact copy of you. This theory is known as the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics. And this may turn out to be more than a theory. It could be reality.
Okay.
Buckle up.
I'm ready, my guy. I'm ready. Let's go.
Even if the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics sounds like sciencey gobbledygook, you're probably still familiar with the idea of the multiverse. Multiverse theories involve the concept that our reality splits into different branches based on different outcomes to various events. The TV shows Star Trek, Fringe, and Counterpart.
Like, there's a reality where The Rock, the people's champion, is our president. You know how great that would be? All right? You know how hyped I would personally be? You know, I'd usually, as my morning call would be, my morning alarm would be The Rock's theme song. I would kip up, throw my hand in the air, do the eyebrow raise, and then start my day with a smile. How great would that be if the people's champion? Imagine him going to like a meeting, right? With like, I don't know, let's say like another world leader. Oh yes, bro. How intimidating would that be? You know, how intimidating would that be? It'll be amazing. It'll be hilarious too, honestly.
All have plot lines about a mirror universe, which is very similar to our own with slight changes.
I was right. Those are our. Hi, Howard. Well, this is disappointing.
There's an infinite number of universes, and in each of them, there is a version of us.
The show Rick and Morty is built entirely around the concept that there's not just a single parallel universe, there are infinite universes. And of course, Marvel made heavy and sloppy use of the multiverse. The show Sliders is about a group of travelers that slide between parallel universes, and these other realities are focused on alternate history questions like, what if penicillin was never discovered? Or what if America lost the Revolutionary War? According to the Many Worlds theory, those realities actually do exist. There's a reality, like portrayed in The Man in the High Castle, where the Allies lost World War II. There's even a universe where
Wow.
World War II never happened. There's a universe
Imagine
where a
that.
comet didn't wipe out the dinosaurs, and they evolved to be highly intelligent and create their own civilization.
Lizard people universe.
Exactly.
What if now hear me out. What if the UFOs aren't from outer space? They're from just different parallel universe, and they have the technology to travel through parallel universe. What if the the dinosaur people are able to come to our world from parallel universes? That'd be insane. That'd be crazy.
Sometimes the differences between universes are small. Like there's a reality where maybe I have a different set. Or a different sidekick.
Oh my goodness, what are we talking about today, Mel's Hole? I love Mel's Hole. If I had my way, we'd get into Mel's Hole every day.
Well, that was weird. Hey, is there a reality where I'm the host of the show and you're the sidekick?
Yup.
With fish people.
Today we're going deep inside Mel's hole.
Do we have to keep making that joke? It's getting a little stale, don't you think?
Shut up, human! I'm the host of this show. You hear me? Me! Be quiet or I'll turn off your oxygen. I'll tell you when it's time for you to speak.
Yeah, but-
Silence! Oh, I like that one.
There's a reality where you learned guitar and became a rock star. There's a reality where you're an astronaut, or you're the president of the United States. There are realities where you died skydiving or from a snake bite. And there are even
Oh, that's a
realities
reality.
out-
Yeah, that's true. Because I did go skydiving once in my life, and bruh, when I tell you, I had this like ever so slight fear of like, bro, what if the parachute does not parachute? What if it decides to just shoot, and not para? and just shoot me down to earth. I'd be so sad. Oh, whoops, my bad.
There where you don't exist at all. All these different realities are the product of different choices being
Sounds like a
made
peaceful one,
that
honestly.
led to different outcomes. You can think of these as manifestations of the butterfly effect.
Yeah, that movie wasn't as bad as people say.
I agree.
The butterfly effect?
The butterfly effect is the concept that small changes can lead to vastly different results over time. It gets its name from a paper titled Predictability: Does the Flap of a Butterfly's Wings in Brazil Set Off a Tornado in Texas? Think of the
Ooh,
comet
that's
that killed off
interesting.
the dinosaurs. That comet came from somewhere very, very far away. So if you went to its starting place in the distant solar system and altered its trajectory by just a few feet, by the time it got to Earth, it would be so off course that it wouldn't hit the planet. That slight change millions of years ago would have changed the entire course of history on our planet. And this applies to our lives as well. Let's say your grandparents met on a train. What if your grandfather missed the train that day or took a different one?
Huh.
That small decision means you wouldn't exist.
That's true.
Something as simple as a menu choice at a restaurant could be the difference between a tasty meal and food poisoning.
That is true. Where are they?
According to the many worlds hypothesis, all the other parallel universes are all around us all the time. They're just in other dimensions, so we can't see them. So in your living room, there are infinite versions of you. Some versions are watching TV. Some are reading a book. Some versions of you are building a time machine. They're all
Some version of me is actually learning different languages while he's dancing salsa. While, yeah, that's pretty much it. That'd be great. I'd be happy with that. Shout out to that version of me. You're doing great in life.
all out there. But also in your living room is a different family speaking German because the Allies lost World War II.
Oh shit.
There are also versions of your living room where there's no living room. It's just Tyrannosaurus Rexes passing through because they never went extinct.
That'd
There's
be
a version
crazy.
of your living room that's a smoking cinder because of nuclear war. And then there's a universe where your living room doesn't exist because life on Earth never evolved. Even Hugh Everett said that parallel universes exist, but there's no way to access them. But that might not be true. In places like CERN and Fermilab, particle accelerators are being used to try and find evidence of other dimensions.
Yo, the conspiracy theories around CERN are, yo, like I remember they were saying they were trying to release what was it, like demons, that they were using these that CERN is a place is like place where these are portals where they're trying to release demons and stuff like that. CERN is a place where there's so many conspiracy that was just one, but there were so many conspiracy theories. It was insane. It got me hyped, look. I was like, damn, this is cooking up. This is cooking up. And so yeah, CERN is wild. CERN is definitely a wild place. I'll just throw these two there. Anyway, all right, back to the video.
dimensions. Gravity is the key. There's a hypothetical particle called a graviton that carries gravity. Gravity, as far as we know, permeates all of space, including all dimensions. Scientists think that if they can produce gravitons with high enough energy, they should move into extra dimensions. But finding a graviton is like catching smoke with your fingers. It's elusive and slips right through. Looking for a graviton is looking for nothing. So protons are accelerated to almost the speed of light and slammed into each other. This collision causes them to break apart into their constituent particles. Sometimes the resulting particles are common, like muons and neutrinos. But sometimes a proton collision creates exotic particles, like quarks and bosons. CERN has also smashed protons together to try and find tiny black holes. In 2015,
Bruh, that right there is the thing that trips me out. It's like black holes are like the thing that we do not want to fuck with. Yet here we are trying to create little black holes and trying to fuck with it. Why? Why? Come
a
on.
paper published in Physics Letters B by scientists at the University of Waterloo in Canada proposed a way to prove that tiny black holes connect our universe to other universes. Now, it could take many years and billions of collisions to detect a graviton, but if they're found, we'll have evidence that parallel worlds exist. Now, you might have seen this map of cosmic background radiation. This is the leftover radiation from the Big Bang. In analyzing the map, scientists noticed a spot that was cooler than it should have been. They called it the cold spot. At first, it was thought that this was just a super void where no galaxies formed. But in 2017, scientists published research suggesting it isn't a super void.
It's a
It's
black hole.
evidence that our universe collided with another universe.
So
Oh,
if these other
what?
universes exist, can we visit them? I'd like to go to that universe where I'm the host of the show.
And this research says that all that's needed to cross the galaxy or beyond is a fraction of a second through a wormhole. And the researchers think they know how to create an artificial wormhole, but it's still just a theory. But the math checks out. But there is a catch. Time flows faster in higher gravity. Clocks on satellites have to be adjusted occasionally because gravity is weaker in space. That's the catch. Your trip through the wormhole would be a
Okay.
fraction of a second. But say goodbye to your family and friends because, from their perspective, your trip through the wormhole took 100,000 years.
Ay, Chihuahua.
Oh my
Yeah, so
god.
traveling through a wormhole is possible, but not very practical. At least, not yet. But it is possible that we can catch glimpses of other realities without a wormhole. Consider the Mandela effect. This is a phenomenon where a large number of people share a belief of something that never happened. It gets its name from Nelson Mandela because many people remembered him dying in prison during the 1980s, but he was released in 1990 and didn't pass away until 2013. Lots of people remember Jiffy Peanut Butter, which
Jif.
doesn't exist. Many people believe the song We Are the Champions by Queen ends with Of the World, but it doesn't.
We
I swear that it ended with "of the world." I always did swear that. I was too broke for Jiffy for me to know. That shit was expensive, even back in the day. Jif is expensive as peanut butter. We always got the store brand, so I never knew it was Jiffy ever. You know, so the Berenstain Bears. You know, that one I related to too.
are the champions of the world. Sure it does.
Nope.
Right there.
Or the movie
That right there is like that's the brain buster on my end there, because it's like, bruh, I swear I used to hear "of the world." That's
where
crazy.
Sinbad played a genie that he never played. Or the Monopoly Man wearing a monocle, which he never wore. Mandela effects are most
never played
likely
Monopoly.
people simply misremembering. But there is a theory that in another universe, people actually eat Jiffy peanut butter. They eat Cheez-Its, when in our universe, Cheez-Its are called Cheez-It, with no S.
Wait, cheese it with no S. That can't be right.
It's right.
I'm a wheel of cheese.
Got a point.
Yeah. Cheese it, cheesy, crunchy satisfaction.
Huh.
I know, it's uncomfortable.
I swear I used to have a Z at the end.
Science fiction author Philip K. Dick also believed in alternate realities that could bleed into ours.
I'm mature.
He wrote science
grown
fiction
man.
classics that were turned into movies like Blade Runner, Total Recall, Minority Report. He also wrote The Man in the High Castle, which is an alternate history novel. Now, in the book, the Allies lost World War II, and the Japanese and Nazi forces occupied the United States. But Philip Dick said he
okay.
didn't just invent this idea. He said he lived it.
Huh?
He said he had visions of this other reality where Hitler won the war.
Okay, now bro's
It did
just
not
wild.
take me long to open the question as to whether it might not be more than that. That in fact, plural realities did exist, superimposed onto one another, like so many film transparencies. I wrote both novels based on fragmentary residual memories of such a horrid slave state world.
He also believed these parallel universes were actually parallel computer simulations.
We are living in a computer programmed reality, and the only clue we have
I like
to
this
it
guy.
is when some variable is changed and some alteration in our reality occurs.
This is
He
that guy.
felt that the
That guy's
computer
different.
program, which
That's
is
so
our
dope.
reality, is constantly being updated.
Truly
and
a
each
man
update is an
of
improvement
culture.
on the last version, like patching software. So his vision of Hitler winning the war really happened.
So
But the
wild.
programmer, who he calls God,
What a grifter.
patched our
I ain't gonna
reality.
lie. I feel
That
like Hitler's
software
such a
patch
grifter.
resulted in Hitler's defeat. Philip Dick says that deja vu is a momentary glitch in our program where variables are changed and a software patch is applied. He also says that Mandela effects, though they weren't called that at the time, are real memories that are carried over from a different reality.
One thing I really want you to know I am aware that the claims I am making, claims of having retrieved buried memories of an alternate present and to have perceived the agency responsible for arranging that alternation, these claims can neither be proved nor can they be even made to sound rational in the usual sense of the word.
He tells a quick story about how he had this feeling that a woman with dark hair was going to show up at his door with important information. Then she did.
What?
And although she was a complete stranger, he felt like he knew her. And she went on to tell him that she read all of his novels. And although he didn't know it when he was writing them, he was writing about a different but very real timeline.
What is he,
My
Neo?
book, like his, was in a certain real, literal, and physical sense not fiction but the truth.
Have you ever met someone for the first time who felt somehow familiar?
Yes.
That's because you know them or knew them in a different reality. Or have you had deja vu? That's because a variable in the program was changed, and it's a variable about you and your life.
Bro.
Have you ever felt comfortable in a new city? I have. It's because you've been there before, just in a different reality or universe or
What?
program. Have you ever had a dream about living a past life, or gone under hypnosis to try and access a past life? Well, according to Philip K. Dick, those aren't past lives at all. Your past lives are present lives. You're living them right now. But those experiences are walled off from your current perception of reality. But they're all
Dude,
out there in a different
imagine.
dimension. We talked
Dream
about Nikolai
states.
Kozyrev, who believed that time isn't linear. There's no past, present, or future. Everything happens all at once, but in dimensions we can't perceive. Hugh Everett also believed everything happens all at once. Every possible outcome of every choice does happen, but also in dimensions that we can't perceive. Both of these men proposed theories that were considered science fiction at the time, but eventually mainstream scientists started finding clues that they were onto something. And it may turn out that Kozyrev and Everett's theories of the universe were ahead of their time, which is an ironic statement.
Yep.
Because if they're right about the universe and time, that would mean, in both cases, there's no such thing.
Huh?
Why are we so obsessed with alternate realities? Why do parallel universes show up in science fiction over and over again? I think the idea of other realities coexisting with our own.
I think it's because sometimes we're not satisfied with the choices that we make in life. And so we wish there's like a parallel reality where we can, like me personally, I wouldn't want to like intrude or like want to switch places with that person. If there's a parallel reality of me, I would, and he has a better life, I would not switch places with that person because I fucked up already, and I haven't changed my mindset, and I'll continue fucking up. So why would I fuck up his thing that he has going when I still need to focus on my reality lane, you know? So I feel like it's mostly that. It's just like we are, you know, we our choices in life, sometimes we regret them so much that we wish we could see another parallel universe where we made the other choice and see how great life could be. That's what I think.
It's more than just a fun idea. I think each of us takes the idea very personally. Our fascination with parallel universes is all about choices. Hugh Everett says that every time a choice is made, a new universe or timeline branches off.
Yeah,
each one with a different
wants it.
result of that choice. So when we
Exactly.
talk about how there's a universe out there where you're a movie star or the president of the United States, the many worlds hypothesis says that not only is that possible, it's the truth. Who you are today is just the result of the thousands of choices that you've made throughout your life.
Yep.
So there's a reality out there where you made the right combination of choices to become an astronaut, or the combination of choices to become a Nobel Prize winning scientist who cures cancer. There's a reality where you made the right combination of choices to put yourself in a warehouse, working as a detective searching for a body. There's a combination of choices where you're the serial killer in that warehouse hiding the body. And there's even a reality where your choices made it so you're the body.
Oh, what a
And even though we may not think of life
well
this
said, my
way, we're
friend.
still aware of it on some level. It's very natural from time to time to find yourself asking, what if? What if I studied more in school? What if I married my high school sweetheart? Or what if I left that abusive relationship sooner? It's only natural to wonder what our life would be like if we made different choices. Now, it's fun to think about the choices that would have made us a rock star or a professional baseball player. But don't get too hung up on that.
Yeah,
Because
facts.
there is that reality where you're the body in the warehouse. So it's fine to fantasize about a life you could have had, but don't let the fantasy turn into regret. If you're happy with your life, even if it's not perfect, you've made good choices, and be satisfied with that. And if you're not
That's so
happy with your
important.
life, don't
That is
dwell
so
on the past and
important.
the mistakes you've made and what could have been. Because until your life is over, you'll have the opportunity to make a lot more choices. And every time you have to make a decision, whether a big one or a small one, think about this episode. Think about the butterfly effect. You never know how a decision now can change your life forever.
Yep,
And you
that's
don't
so
have the
true.
luxury of alternate realities. Your choices only affect this one, and every choice could be important. Choose wisely.
Oh, well put. Well put. So I can relate a lot to what he said. I am that person that did dwell on his past, that still kind of does. I still think about the past a lot and the choices that I made, because honestly, some like from the beginning, I've always made the wrong choice. Never made a great choice. Always made the wrong choice, and it sucks. It really does suck. And so, a few years ago, that's all I obsessed about. To be honest, I couldn't think of anything else but the past and how I fucked up. And it took me a minute for me to really make amends with it. Um, so now when I do think about the past, I just think of like, okay, so what did I do wrong? And I try to remember what led to me doing that wrong. What led to me making that wrong choice, and why, and all that stuff. And I kind of study it more. I look at it and be like, okay, these are learning lessons. Every failure is a learning lesson. So let's try and learn from it, so that when tomorrow comes, if a certain situation comes up, I know to make instead of going left, I go right, right. And so, it's helped. It's kind of it brought me a little peace. It brought me a little peace from it all. And yeah, yeah, yeah. So I hope people don't dwell to be like me and like just dwell on it, and like, you know, see the future. Look at the future, even if it's blurry. Just look ahead, and once the choices what's it called come and you can see them clearly, hope you can make the right ones. But yeah, anyway, all right, great video.